Day 23, Designing an Environment for Success. When people think about personal growth, they usually focus on internal factors. They think about mindset, motivation, discipline, confidence, habits, and willpower. All of these elements matter, and throughout this journey, we have spent considerable time exploring them. However, there is another influence on behavior that often receives far less attention than it deserves: the environment in which behavior takes place. This oversight is understandable because environment tends to operate quietly. Unlike motivation, which can be felt directly, or beliefs, which can be examined through reflection, environmental influences are often hidden in plain sight. They become so familiar that we stop noticing them altogether. Yet they continue shaping our decisions every day. Consider a simple example. Imagine placing a bowl of fresh fruit on a kitchen table and a box of biscuits in a cupboard that requires extra effort to reach. Most people will consume more fruit and fewer biscuits without making any conscious decision to change their diet. The difference is not necessarily a stronger sense of discipline. The difference is that one choice became easier and the other became slightly more difficult. Small environmental changes often produce surprisingly large behavioral effects. This observation challenges a common assumption. Many people believe that success is primarily a matter of character. They assume that productive individuals simply possess greater discipline, while those who struggle are somehow less committed or less capable. While personal responsibility certainly matters, this explanation is incomplete because it ignores the role that surroundings play in influencing behavior. Human beings are highly responsive to context. We like to imagine ourselves as completely independent decision makers, yet much of what we do is influenced by what is immediately around us. Our attention is directed by visual cues. Our moods are affected by physical spaces. Our routines are shaped by convenience and familiarity. Even our expectations are influenced by the people with whom we spend time. The environment does not eliminate personal responsibility, but it frequently determines how difficult a particular choice will feel. Imagine two individuals attempting to develop the same habit. The first works in a quiet environment with minimal distractions and a clear structure for their day. The second works in a chaotic environment filled with interruptions, constant notifications, and competing demands for attention. Both may possess similar levels of intelligence, ambition, and commitment. Yet one is operating under conditions that support focus, while the other is operating under conditions that continuously undermine it. Over time, these differences matter. This is one reason why many people repeatedly underestimate the importance of their surroundings. They continue trying to change behavior while leaving the environment unchanged. They rely entirely on self-control even when small adjustments to their surroundings could make success significantly easier. The modern world presents particular challenges in this area because attention has become one of the most valuable resources we possess. Every day, countless companies compete for it. Notifications, advertisements, social media platforms, streaming services, and endless forms of digital entertainment are specifically designed to capture and hold attention for as long as possible. There is nothing inherently wrong with these technologies. The problem arises when they begin shaping our days more than our intentions do. Many people start their mornings with a clear idea of what they want to accomplish. Yet within minutes, their attention is redirected by messages, updates, headlines, and distractions that were never part of the original plan. By the end of the day, they feel busy, but struggle to identify meaningful progress. This is not necessarily a problem of laziness. It is often a problem of environment. The surrounding conditions make distraction easier than focus. When viewed from this perspective, personal growth becomes less about constantly resisting temptation and more about creating conditions that support the behavior you want to practice. A writer benefits from a space that encourages writing. A person pursuing better health benefits from an environment that supports healthier choices. Someone trying to improve concentration benefits from reducing unnecessary distractions. The objective is not to eliminate every obstacle. Such a goal would be unrealistic. Rather, the objective is to create a situation where desired behavior becomes more natural and undesirable behavior becomes less convenient. The people around us also form part of our environment, and their influence is often greater than we realize. Human beings are deeply social. Throughout life, we absorb attitudes, expectations, and behaviors from the groups to which we belong. We often assume that our opinions are entirely our own, yet many of them are shaped by conversations, relationships, and cultural norms that operate beneath conscious awareness. This influence can be beneficial or harmful depending on the environment. Spending time with people who value learning often encourages learning. Spending time with people who prioritize health frequently influences health-related decisions. Likewise, environments characterized by negativity, cynicism, or constant complaint can gradually shape our outlook without us fully realizing it. This does not mean every relationship must be perfectly aligned with our goals. Life is more complex than that. However, it is worth considering whether the people closest to you generally encourage growth or discourage it. The answer can reveal a great deal about the environment surrounding your ambitions. Another important aspect of environment involves the expectations we create through repeated exposure. Human beings adapt remarkably quickly. What once felt exceptional eventually becomes normal. This process occurs in both positive and negative directions. A person surrounded by disorder may gradually stop noticing it. Someone surrounded by constant stress may begin viewing stress as an unavoidable part of life. Conversely, a person who consistently experiences environments that support growth, learning, and productivity may begin treating those conditions as normal. The standards embedded within an environment eventually influence personal standards. This is one reason successful organizations, teams, and communities pay close attention to culture. They understand that behavior is contagious. Expectations spread. Norms become habits. The same principle applies on an individual level. Your environment is constantly teaching you what is normal. The question is whether it is teaching lessons that support the future you want to create. As you reflect on your own life, it may be useful to think of your environment as an invisible partner in every goal you pursue. Every room, every routine, every relationship, and every digital influence either supports your efforts or competes with them. Some influences are obvious, others are subtle. Yet all of them contribute to the conditions in which your choices are made. This realization can be empowering because it shifts part of the responsibility for change away from constant self-control and toward thoughtful design. Instead of asking, "How can I become stronger?" it may sometimes be more useful to ask, "How can I make the right choice easier?" That question often leads to practical improvements that require far less effort than endless self-discipline. The future you are creating will certainly be influenced by your beliefs, habits, and decisions. However, it will also be influenced by the environment in which those beliefs, habits, and decisions are practiced. For that reason, designing your environment is not a secondary concern. It is part of the process of designing your life. Reflection questions. 1. What aspects of your current environment support your goals? 2. What aspects of your environment create unnecessary distractions or obstacles? 3. How do the people around you influence your thinking and behavior? 4. What habits become easier because of your environment? 5. What small changes could make positive behavior more natural and consistent? Daily action step. Choose one area of your environment that directly affects an important goal. Make a practical adjustment that supports the behavior you want to encourage. It could involve reducing a distraction, improving organization, preparing resources in advance, or creating a dedicated space for a specific activity. Pay attention to how this change influences your behavior over the next few days. Success affirmation. I create environments that support my values, my habits, and my growth. By shaping my surroundings intentionally, I make it easier to become the person I want to be.